I'm going to go share.
Share what?
Stream.
We're streaming. Hi, people. It's been a while. Almost forgot how to run a podcast.
Yeah.
No, you forgot how to run a podcast this complex.
I realized now that we've been doing Technorama longer than the Beatles were the Beatles.
Really?
Your
Okay.
technical person has a question for you.
Yes?
It won't stream,
It won't stream.
but I'm recording.
Okay. Can I connect to the RTMP, blah, blah, blah. Output, settings. I created a new URL.
Yeah.
Please stop all outputs before trying to change canvas size. Don't care. Not streaming. I didn't do anything. Pulled it up, looked at it, and said, okay.
It's your positive technical aura, Chuck.
I can beat technology into submission with
It happens all the time.
intimidation.
I go to some user's desk. They're like, it's
Yeah.
not working. And you go there and you're like, oh, bing.
It's working now.
Yeah. They're like,
Yeah.
I swear it
Believe me,
wasn't.
I get that from my wife all the time. Oh, it always works when you're standing over my shoulder.
So last night we were playing Jackbox TV. We were
that's
using
fun.
Zoom so they could see my remote screen because it's not much of a game if you can't see what you're supposed to draw
It's
or what
true.
you're supposed to vote on. And we got Steve in Minnesota online, no problem. He clicked the link in the meeting invite. It was fine. Mark was a different situation.
Trouble?
No, this is Mark in South Dakota, my old high school friend. Clicks the link. Are we supposed to see something? Are we clicking the link on our phone or on our computer? Like, oh, this is going to be a while. I clicked it and nothing's happening. How are you talking to me? On the phone. No, go to your computer, bring up the browser, open the link. It says the conference will start when the meeting starts. It's already started. I'm in it. Oh, man, I'm playing tech support for my friends now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Somehow, once they installed the Zoom client,
it was fine.
Well, they stopped the phone call and joined through the computer. We could hear them, but they still couldn't see. Huh. Somehow they had like 2 sessions up and running, even though there was only one attendee in the conference. They said, oh, wait, I closed a window. There you are. It was classic.
Good times.
Yeah, Mark is not the technical person among us.
Happens.
It was a lot of fun, though. It was
cool.
a lot of fun. Craig, we're going to have to do that at some point.
Yeah.
What was it again? What game were you trying to play?
It's called Jackbox. It's a Jackbox TV. They have party packs of like 5 games for $25.
Wait, is it
you don't know
Jack?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the games. There's one called. 2 of our favorites are Fibbage. That's it. Fibbage, where they give you a sentence and it says Kim Jong-il's one of his noted titles was, the great and glorious redeemer of blank. Okay, and you have to fill in the blank. And your lies, if you fool somebody, you get points for being a good liar. And if you guess the right answer, you get right points. And the game goes like that. The other one is Drawful, which you draw a picture. They give you a description on your phone. It says, draw like
a starfish or something.
Yeah, push-up bra.
Okay.
Yeah, and you have to draw a push-up bra on your phone. And the other people will get this. Of course, none of the drawings are ever any good.
Of course.
And you have to guess. Then it says, okay, it puts up your picture and tells the other people, caption this. So if they can fool them, it's like Fibbage, where they can fool you into a false title, you get points for, say, okay, right. This looks like, bad glasses.
Okay.
And if somebody guesses bad glasses, you get points. And if you're a really good drawer and everybody, whoever guesses push-up bra from the 5 or 6 or whatever many titles are up there, then you get points for being a good artist.
Nice.
So it's just a lot of fun. You get some pictures up there and and when like 5 of the titles say something very consistent, like, burnt pizza,
right?
Bad pizza, dead pizza. And then one of them has, like, cow hooves or something.
Right.
It's like, everybody's on the same wavelength because it's such a bad picture.
Right.
Then it has to be the
cow hooves.
It has to be
Yeah.
cow hooves.
We like playing the game Quiplash.
What is that?
It's another game that you can play online with a bunch of friends and such. And basically, it's kind of the snarky finish the sentence type thing. It's pretty fun.
I wish they had a little better remote experience. It's meant to be played like everybody's all around the same.
Right.
Apple TV. I think it's available on Fire Stick, PS3. I downloaded the Mac version, so it's a pretty versatile game platform.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be nice to not have to involve Zoom. Say,
Makes sense.
Yeah.
right, you can do it easily on your phone. I say it says go to Jackbox type TV and type in this 4-letter code BHGZ, and you're in the game room with your other friends. But they can't see what's on my screen. They should be able to pull up a computer and go to that room and go, oh, now I can see and hear what the narration is, because the narration's half the fun too. It's like, oh, well, this is certainly something that somebody drew.
Nobody liked playing Pictionary with me.
Oh, yeah? Why is that?
Yeah, because I can draw.
Oh, there you go.
No, I'm gonna take it back. They'll play on my team.
Craig?
but yeah.
When the word on the screen says broccoli enema, I challenge you to draw that. Or one that I had last night was profit, as in PH.
Right.
How do you draw a
PROPHET?
profit?
Yeah.
And how do you convince other people that that's what that picture should be so that they caption it correctly? It's not
Money.
that easy.
You draw money.
Yeah, but it's not the same thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Somebody just got it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always slow. You're lucky I don't get it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Should we
Right.
tell them the joke you heard on the cruise?
Yeah.
So, Teresa, our friend on the cruise, by the way, if you're watching, I'm going to refresh the screen here. Teresa was saying she gets a text. Was it her sister sent her a text? And it said, my husband thinks I have a problem drinking brake fluid. I drink too much brake fluid. And then like an hour later, she'll get a response that says, but I can stop anytime. Donna did not hear this
Oh,
properly.
God.
She said, well, grapefruit juice. My husband thinks I drink too much grapefruit juice and I can stop anytime. I don't get it.
Well, the joke just went.
3 days later,
That's funny.
we had to
That's
repeat
funny.
it several times. It's not grapefruit juice, it's brake fluid. But that doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to drink brake fluid?
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's like a termite walks into a bar and asks, where's the bartender? Hey,
Ba-dum,
you
bum.
see how quickly they are when they go, oh.
Yeah.
I just love watching the wheels spin on stuff like that. I'd listen, but just getting on a plane back home. Scott Tyler is sort of here.
Well,
Hi, Scott.
good. So we won't get no trash talk from him tonight.
Where's he coming from? That explains why they weren't in church today.
Oh.
He's coming from somewhere.
Oh.
Okay, we'll find out.
South Carolina.
He's at your house?
Yeah, he's at my house.
Basement.
Okay. Audio levels, check.
I have a basement.
Fine.
Check.
You good? Craig?
Huh?
Okay. Audio levels are fine.
We just mute him. It's fine.
We're just going
I
to
got a
mute
new
Craig for
keyboard.
the rest of the show.
Craig is being played by a mime.
He's going to be up in that top window going, hey!
guys.
Don't do that, Craig. Your autofocus goes crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let us begin. It feels,
All right.
anything can
Hey,
happen
by the way,
tonight, kids.
did you get my changes?
To insert that one audio clip?
Yes. And there was a remember when I swapped out.
No, I didn't get a remember when.
Okay. But I did. Well, I texted you like 800 times. I guess you were ignoring me.
Yes, I know you text 800 times. You do the same thing that Lily does at work. You know, you can put more than 4 words together in a text message.
I got
when
news for you.
When I start
Look,
getting like that 6th or 7th message in 30 seconds, I just pretty much stop paying attention.
Look, there were complete sentences, and there was 5 of them.
Coming up in this episode,
And he did this 30 minutes before showtime.
So what's
Well, I
coming?
got inspired. I saw something, and I like we have to. Show
Well,
this.
maybe it'll make it in next week. I don't know. So the pictures may be off a little, Donna.
You'll see.
Way to go, Craig.
Hey, inspiration hit me. Well, you got to see this article though.
When inspiration hits, hit back. All right, let us begin. 5, 4, 3. Technorama episode 556. If you only knew.
Good morning, folks. This is your captain speaking.
Technorama.
Remember when?
Technorama.
On this day in tech history.
Tech.
And now, the news.
Tech.
What the chuck?
Technorama.
Welcome to Blockhead Video.
Oh, whoa. Where is that smell coming from? Ugh.
Over there, in the media corner.
No.
Technorama.
Hold my beer and watch this.
Unfasten your seatbelts and disregard all safety rules. Here are your flight crew, Chuck and Craig.
Hey, welcome to Technorama. This is the show that takes a lighthearted look at tech, science, sci-fi, and all things geek. If this is your first time joining us, thank you very much. We appreciate it. You have no idea. It's been like 14, 15 years later, we're still at it.
Look, are we done with cruises and trips and extracurricular activity?
No.
No?
You're only done with that when you're done with life. If you're returning, welcome back. We appreciate you giving us your time once again. I'm Chuck Tomasi here in sunny Phoenix, Arizona, and joining me as always is Craig Stepp from the right-hand coast. How are you, Craig?
I'm doing well. I'm happy to be here.
Feels like forever. We've only done one show this year, and it's late February.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, once you hit that 14, 15-year mark, you can kind of start slowing down.
Coast. Also joining us in the binary studio is our close friend and neighbor. And when I say close,
Yeah, right next door. Hi.
Yeah.
Merry New Year. Oh, is that not?
You're like Wilson, you know, you're just kind of peeking over the fence.
say your name.
Oh, my name is Brian Brown, by the way. Hi.
Yeah.
If you didn't recognize me. I'm the guy that's always here. I'm kind of like a bad penny. I keep
That
turning
one
up.
new guy.
Yeah. I'm the intern.
All right, we have some feedback. We posted a question. Yeah. We had our question of the week last month.
I was going to say, I don't remember seeing this. Okay.
Every day.
Craig, did you run down the thread of all the shares, or are these aggregated in some way? No, they're not.
I only saw a few, these few.
Okay.
Unless you got
boy.
some. Oh, dear.
Our question on the last show, if you weren't paying attention, so we re-aired it today, was if you had $200 million budget and copyright was not an issue, what movie would you make? John Miller Jr. writes, and he said, I'd redo Technorama. Oh, wait.
Yeah, whoa. No.
I'd redo Transformers, the animated movie from 1986. Yes.
I think our wives would probably agree. We probably spent $200 million up to this point in podcasting.
Some voice recasting would have to be done. Well, that would be true with Technorama, too. Retool the story by giving the origin of the Matrix of Leadership and Unicorn, and structure the story for those who know a little bit about the Transformers. My first pick, I said Unicorn. It's Unicron.
I was going to say Unicorn. I don't remember Unicorn being in Transformers.
He's the he's the one with the big horn.
That's right.
He wants to make a unicorn / Transformers movie.
Wow.
Speaking of, I don't know what made me think of this, but have you seen the Stella Artois commercials with the Big Lebowski in them?
I haven't. I've seen that they've been talking about it, but I haven't actually seen them.
It was pretty good.
it.
I don't remember. I don't know who the first lady is that walks in. She goes, "Oh, it was Stella Artois." That was Sarah Jessica Parker. Okay, she walks in
from Sex and the City.
He says the waiter says Cosmopolitan, and she says, "No, I'll have a Stella Artois," and the place falls apart, and the waiters have to bustle around, and they're dropping dishes and whatnot, and then they're cleaning this stuff up, and they change the whole theme of the music, and in walks
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, Jeff Bridges, and he's strolling in with his
dude,
right, with his sweater and pajama pants. He goes,
"Yeah,
I'll have a Stella Artois."
Yeah.
Nice. Well, it's interesting because each character has their own drink, and so Sarah Jessica Parker in Sex and the City was a Cosmo.
Yeah.
And of course, Jeff Bridges, the dude, had the White Russian.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
Hey,
and
I was happy to.
he says, White Russian? He goes, no, Stella Artois. And he sits down, and there's Sarah Jessica Parker. She goes, good choice. And he goes,
Yeah.
change is good. The dude abides.
Yeah.
very nice.
I like
Hey,
it.
I'm a fan of the dude, and I'm gonna tell you, I thought it was a waste of the dude
For the commercial?
for a commercial. Yeah.
Well, I mean, man's got to get paid. So
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to see another Big Lebowski follow up, but it's just me.
Maybe there's your $200 million.
right there.
Yeah. Yeah. The dude with unicorns.
Wow.
Justin Deal writes in, he says, a legit Shadowrun movie, not like
Bright
so world building,
Okay.
but full of rendition on the sixth world in all of its lovely cyberpunk meets magic glory.
That'd be amazing, actually. So Shadowrun's an RPG. So that, in case those who don't know, it's really well done. That'd be really cool. I'm with Justin on that. That'd be awesome.
Brian Parker says Return of the Jedi, replacing the Ewoks with an army of Wookiees per the original vision. The saga needs the battle of all battles and not a teddy bear picnic. Ooh, harsh.
Teddy bear picnic.
Wow, Brian.
Ouch.
Hey, some of those died. I don't say that's a picnic.
True.
Steve Weshy writes, I would make a movie based on the Mistborn series by
Okay.
Brandon Sanderson.
That would be very cool as well. Be very interesting.
Hey, I would like to make one. It's a mix between Blade Runner and Indiana Jones.
So it'd be archaeologically done in the future?
Yeah, I was thinking kind of like a little bit of an action movie with Blade Runner because the Blade Runner is so slow.
The remake? The new one? The 2049?
No, I'm just,
The original?
I'm just messing.
Are you messing? Okay, because
It doesn't
I'm about
matter. I'm
to.
messing.
Once
I'll
again,
reach
Mr.
across
Stepp, I now
smack.
possess something that you once owned.
What? Yeah.
Yes, your original memories.
Humor.
We also have an email. It says, hey guys, had quite a moment and thought of you two. How weird.
Quiet. I had a quiet moment.
Had a quiet moment. Oh,
And you see, he obviously, Chuck is suffering from Craig disease today.
I can't read.
I know.
Just wanted to drop a quick note to say, hey, and thank you for providing so much great entertainment for so long. I love the levity you bring on an almost weekly basis. Ooh,
Ouch.
we deserve that.
Jab.
Zing.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work, and I look forward to the good stuff from Chuck and Craig for many years to come. Signed, Ben Vaughn. Thank you very much, Ben. Ben's been a long time listener.
I'm sure he meant Brian as well.
That's okay.
Brian, are you out of your trainee status yet?
I think so. I think I'm actually, you moved me off of fries and I'm doing lettuce now. So
He hasn't had the predator training
This
yet.
requires
but-
a knife.
exactly. I was just thinking of Louis Anderson and Coming to America. He's like, I'm on lettuce now, but soon they'll put me to fries, So I just did a reverse on it.
All right, Craig, you got your D20 handy?
Ooh, here we go.
Yeah, hold on. It's in my bag.
That's a no from Craig. He doesn't.
got to get his Google Home thing to go.
No, it's right here. I got
Oh,
real
you actually
dice.
got dice. Okay.
Get them
Yeah, they're
handy.
I carry them always in my bag.
Uh-huh.
Well, I rolled pretty well.
I did all right. Better than usual. I'm above the halfway watermark.
That's good.
I got a 16.
I got an 18.
Once again, my best roll is a 14.
Sorry.
Nice.
You chose poorly, sir.
Brian, Craig, Chuck. Okay,
Brian Craig Chuck.
let's
All
do
right.
this thing.
Hey, wait a minute.
There's no waiting. On this day in history for February 20th, 2019, this is the 51st day of the year in the Gregorian calendar. 51 already?
Wow.
There are 314 remaining in 2019.
It was on this date in 1792 that the Postal Service Act establishing the United States Post Office Department is signed by United States President George Washington.
Georg?
Yorg.
Yorga, Washington.
Yeah, Yorg Washington.
203 years ago today, Rossini's opera The Barber of Seville premieres at the Teatro Argentina in Rome.
How do? Let me tell you crap. Let me tell you
I was just thinking of Bugs Bunny too.
Everybody thinks of Bugs Bunny with the
Yeah,
Barbara Seville. You have to.
Yeah.
It was 147 years ago today that the Metropolitan Museum of Art opens in New York City.
Also on February 20th, 1877, Tchaikovsky's ballet Swan Lake receives its premiere at the Bolshoi Theater in Moscow. Interesting.
Now, sing that one. What does that make you think of? Swan Lake?
Let me do your crop.
No, that's... We are just musically challenged tonight, aren't we?
Pretty much, yeah.
All right. 88 years ago today, the Congress of the United States approves the construction of the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge by the state of California.
And they just rebuilt part of that.
Yeah.
It was on that date in 1935 that Caroline Michelson becomes the first woman to set foot in Antarctica.
Wow. On this date in 1962, while aboard Friendship 7, John Glenn becomes the first American to orbit the Earth, making 3 orbits in 4 hours and 55 minutes.
You know how fast he went?
No, I don't, actually.
Godspeed. They said Godspeed, John Glenn.
Then that's boom. Now we know.
Which equals to 4 hours and 55 minutes worth of travel.
Mm-hmm.
So 54 years ago today, Ranger 8 crashes into the moon after a successful mission photographing possible landing sites for program astronauts.
There they are. Right there. That looks good.
Yeah.
Lot L5.
Oh, there's parking over there. Oh, there's parking there too.
That same date in 1971, the United States Emergency Broadcast System bloop, is accidentally activated in an erroneous national alert. That's not good.
Yeah.
There was an announcement of a wall being built, so we had to
71?
Careful.
Oh, yeah. Easy, pal. It was on this date in 1986 that the Soviet Union launches its Mir spacecraft, remaining in orbit for 15 years. It is occupied for 10 of those years.
Did they have meerkats?
Yes, but they're space meerkats.
They keep poking their heads out of the portholes.
Start the birthdays, Craig.
All right, German physician, physiologist, and anatomologist. Anatomist. Whatever.
Anatomist?
Johann Christian Riehl, born on this date in 1759.
I'll give you close credit for that.
Yeah.
It'd actually be Ryle.
Yeah.
Born February 20th, 1844, Austrian physicist and philosopher Ludwig Boltzmann.
Joshua Slocum, the Canadian sailor and adventurer, is born 175 years ago today.
An American engineer and politician, third governor of the Panama Canal Zone, J. John Morrow, was born 149 years ago today.
We were just there. The Panama Canal.
Yes, you were.
Yeah.
Louis Kahn, the American architect who designed the Salk Institute, the Kimball Art Museum, and the Bangladesh Parliament Building, was born 118 years ago today. If you don't recognize that name, I don't blame you.
Born February 20th, 1906, American actor Gail Gordon.
Mr. Mooney.
Yeah.
And American actor, director and diplomat, Sidney Poitier, is born on this date in 1927.
They call me
Mr. Tibbs.
There you go.
That's right.
I always think of Pumbaa when I think of that. They call me Mr. Pig. Also born
Mr.
that
Pig.
same date in 1931, American mathematician and academic John Milnor.
Australian minister and amateur astronomer Robert Evans is 82 today.
And Jay Giles, the American singer-songwriter and guitarist, was born 73 years ago today, singing Love Stinks.
73.
Well, you know, the funny thing is Jay Giles himself really never sang much.
Nope.
Yeah.
There was one of the few bands where the lead was not a
it's Peter
singer
Wolf,
or drummer
so.
or
Yep.
I always found that interesting. Also turning 59 today is American comedian, actor, and screenwriter Joel Hodgson
Yay.
from MST3K.
Also born on that same date, 1966, American model and businesswoman Cindy Crawford.
66? Why did I always think she was older than me?
She's only a little bit older than I am, so.
Okay.
Yeah, same here. So born February 20th, 1967, American singer-songwriter and guitarist Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cocaine? Also turning 31 today is Barbadian-American singer-songwriter and actress Rihanna. Our listener birthdays this week. Let's see if we can get this before the music cuts out. Zahadoom on February 23rd. Also on the 23rd, Keith Hughes, a.k.a. Ed Gizmo. Norbert on the 25th. And Mark's lovely wife, Sandy Shepard, on the 25th also. Happy birthday to all of you. If you're not on the birthday calendar, you're more than welcome to join us over at chuckchat.com/wiki. Get your name there. We'll give you a shout out if you are on the birthday calendar or it happens to be your birthday and you're not on the calendar. Happy birthday to you either way. That's the way it was on this day in history for February 20th, 2019. Good timing.
There you go. The boys are earning their pay.
Smoke them if you got them.
That's right.
All right, we have news. We have news. Which one? This is the... Oh, this is bad news. We need a bad news.
Impending news, everyone!
All right. Craig, would you like to start us out?
Sure. So the first 2 tiny satellites to ever go interplanetary have fallen silent in deep space. 9. Oh, I just threw the 9 part in there. For some unknown reason. And it's likely we may never hear from them again. But for NASA, which launched the probes last year, the loss of communication isn't considered a failure. Before the pair went quiet, these vehicles demonstrated that tiny satellites would become critical tools for exploring other worlds deep within our solar system. So the silent satellites are 2 Marco probes, nicknamed Eve and Wally. Yeah, from Pixar's sci-fi movie, which flew to Mars along with NASA's InSight lander last year. Both Marcos are modified CubeSats, a type of standardized small satellite about the size of a cereal box. I didn't realize they were that small until I read this article. Used for space research. Before the InSight mission, CubeSats had only ever orbited around Earth, but NASA wanted to know if these types of satellites would be useful in deep space missions as well. So it looks like they were successful in their mission.
The other thing that went silent this last week, or actually confirmed silent, was it Curiosity? The Curiosity rover?
It wasn't Chuck. It was...
Now I'm drawing a blank.
Spirit Opportunity.
Opportunity.
Curiosity
Yes,
is the
thank
other.
you.
Yeah. Yep.
So those Marco satellites, would you ping them by going Polo? That's how you return back to them,
Yes.
right? Basically, they go Marco and you say Polo. That's how they communicated, right?
You go, bing!
Yeah.
I see you have a machine that goes bing!
Yeah.
Yeah, Opportunity, after many, many years, going way farther than it would have.
Was it 15 years or something?
Yeah.
It was supposed to be, what, a 9-month mission or
Yeah,
something?
9 months. It was insane how long. And I like to
I thought it said 90 days.
You get
Oh, might
your
even 90
money's
days,
worth
yeah.
out of that thing?
Yeah, I know it was really
90
short.
days.
It was really, really
Yeah, it was
short.
really short.
And it's been
compared to what-
incommunicado for several months.
Hey,
They just,
6 7 months?
they just needed a confirmation.
Yeah.
It actually mirrors our podcast. We were only expected to do it for 9 months, and look at where we're at today.
I always make a joke about my last job. I was brought on right out of college for a temporary project that was supposed to be like 3 months. I was there for 22 years.
Boy, look at the budget that we run, too. Whoa.
Talk
Yeah.
about your slow worker.
I liked Opportunity's last message too. You know, it says, what was it like? Running out of power, it's going dark, or something like that. It's what it sent
Oh, that's
back.
sad.
It
sounds
was.
like it's
It was very sad. Yeah, it was very personal. It was
The
kind of
sun's
interesting.
getting low.
Yeah, sun's getting low. That's what it was, and it's getting dark. My battery's running low, and you're like,
Now,
oh,
coming back to the CubeSats, this is the kind of thing that Dr. Michio Kaku was talking about in his book when he was talking about he using small satellites because you're so easy to get them up to speed to travel a lot faster than you could get some other thing, and to be able to do certain things very well in a small package. That's what this was. And they were
I
talking
thought
about.
the ones that he had envisioned were even smaller than that, just a few
he
inches.
was talking about
square.
nanites essentially,
Yeah.
essentially in colonizing planets and terraforming planets that way as well. That's how you're going to explore the universe, is with nanites or really, really small computers and satellites and such, and just send them out, because guess what? You know, eventually, if you make enough of them, they're cheap enough, you can just basically fly them over the universe, and find stuff.
Yeah,
So-
and why? And when I read that, I was thinking it's so simple. Why don't we have like a bunch of tiny probes? We just
What's that? What do
They
you
keep
do?
running into your microphone.
That's why they should get launched that way.
I mean, okay, think about how cheap they are.
Mm-hmm.
They should be. I mean, relatively speaking, to especially the other stuff they're doing. Why can't we just throw a bunch of them out there? Send some to Mars, send some to Jupiter, or whatever, and get some really good data rather than having to wait years for a flyby.
We could also set up a relay system, too. where you could have many of them strung out. So even though the transmitter power of one wouldn't be that great, as long as it could reach the next one on the chain.
Or have multiples in clusters, so that way in case one fails, you'd have
some fault tolerance.
Yep.
You see how us computer people think?
And an interplanetary internet?
Pretty much.
Well, this JPEG's going as loading slow.
It's actually like an interplanetary FidoNet. Is really what it's like.
FidoNet, yeah.
Think about it when you think about how Fido was created. So, yeah.
Look, I got an email from last year.
It says things are going well.
Yeah.
Powering down. The sun's getting dark.
Yeah. Oops. This is bad.
Too soon?
Too soon. I'm sad.
All right, we're going to take a real quick break. We have more news coming up, so stick around with us. Let me find the right clip here to play. We will be right back with more hacks and strange stories, remember when, and some other stuff. Be right back.
As a development process, chaos does not scale.
Get ready for the revolutionary product that will change everything. Activate the remote at the right moment while somebody's gabbing and watch the fun.
Let's have some fun with these two guys, huh?
What did you say? You are so quiet. So pick up a remote today at your local store or on the World Wide Web at www.com.
Hi, this is Garrett Wong, Ensign Harry Kim from Star Trek Voyager, and you're listening to Technorama with Chuck and Craig.
You're going to have to look for one of those remotes.
Yeah.
I know, right?
You'd spice up Technorama a bit.
Just put in that 4,000 hertz beep everywhere.
Technorama After Dark.
Boop. All right, we have hacks and strange stories, yes? There we are. Oh, my goodness. I couldn't believe what I saw when I saw this. Craig's already laughing. He likes the picture.
I know.
Yeah.
There's an online store that sells a
blockhead.
$650 thought box that you put over your head just to think. With open offices being so popular these days and distractions pretty much everywhere you look, it can be difficult to find a personal space to gather your thoughts. But with the Thought Box, a $650 cardboard and fabric box that you put over your head, you can enjoy some personal peace, a personal place anywhere. The Thought Box is exactly what it sounds like, a box to help you think. Just have a seat on the included thought stool. That doesn't sound good at all. Put the box over your head and use the earplugs that come with it to detach from everything around you. Just think.
I think those instructions are wrong. I think you need to put the earplugs in first, because you put the box in your head, you can't put the earplugs in.
Yeah, and you won't be able to see where your ears are either. If that sounds like the kind of thing you need in your hectic life, head on over to the Form Emporium online store and order one today. Just know that you'll have to pay £495 or about $650 US for it. The Thought Box kit is proudly made in Great Britain and of course it is, and consists of a cardboard and fabric lycra box and internal plastic helmet that can be adjusted to fit the user's head, earplugs, and 5 interchangeable colored fabric filters to suit your mood. It also comes with the Thought Stool, which we're going to leave that one alone. Made from solid beech. Of course it is. So, yeah, you're definitely getting your money's worth on this one.
Hey, is this better than one of those pods where you float in? You know, the
no, man, those
immersion pods.
Those immersion pods are really cool. Those are something else. Yeah, the sense step chambers, the sensory
Someone's making
deprivation.
some serious coin on the markup on this thing.
Yeah, you know,
I just put my headphones on and turn the light off.
No, I can undercut it with the Thought Bag. It's a burlap sack.
Wait, you're not going to get many return customers though, because they're going to put it over their head and suffocate.
No, it's a burlap sack. It's We call it the kidnap bag instead of maybe the thought box.
Why does it smell like puppies in here?
Oh, wow. That went to a dark place.
That's what the thought box is for.
Put
Go
your
to a
thought
dark
box on,
place.
sir. Back into the corner with you.
Hey, didn't Ryan Reynolds make a movie about this? The thought box. It was in the coffin.
I swear we've seen something just as ridiculously stupid, but not as expensive on this show before. Just people putting boxes over their heads to get away from it.
Wow.
Hey, what was that creature in Hitchhiker's Guide where you put a blindfold over it if it can't see?
Bladder beast of Trawl.
That's
If you-
right.
if you-
And, you
if
put
you
the
look at it.
you put the
Wow.
blindfold on, and if you didn't see it, then it
would eat
assumed
you.
you.
Thank you, Hitchhikerpedia.
You're welcome anytime. I'm the guy you want on your trivia team. Boom.
All I have is useless random knowledge, not useful knowledge.
Well, I mean, I have a little bit of everything. I mean, that's the whole thing. You never know what you're going to quite get out of my brain.
Okay, here's the trivia question that I was known for on the Star Trek panel, aside from saying Geordi's blind.
Okay. I'm not a super Star Trek guy. So
Michael Dorn did a voiceover in a cartoon for Cartoon Network. What was his character's name? It was the name of the cartoon as well.
Blind.
Nope.
No, I'm sorry.
I Am Weasel.
Oh, he did I Am Weasel? Really?
Yes.
Oh.
And his co-star on the show was, what was his name? Because the guy was just egging me on. He goes, there's always one in the crowd that knows these really obscure ones.
Right.
Like, I don't know any of the Star Trek trivia, but I know the cartoon trivia.
That's pretty awesome.
The other character was IR Baboon.
Oh, that's right. IR Baboon. And
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that was, yeah.
I like that show.
That was something else. It was very interesting.
You know, that topic never came up on the cruise, and Michael Dorn was there. I might have to resurrect that. I say
bring it back next year.
Give a shout out to the chat room. John Miller Jr. says, I am Baboon.
No, wait. Scroll up just a little bit. You can see what he said about when I all right, so for those of you who don't know, the little ad that you heard about the censorship remote, that was something John Miller Jr. put on YouTube a little while ago. It was him and two of his friends made a while back. And so I immediately converted it to an MP3 and downloaded it and put it in the show.
So there's a video version of this out there somewhere.
Yes.
They went around
I'll put a link in the show notes.
Okay.
There you go.
Good. We have John Miller Jr. in the chat room. Ben Vaughn as well. John Clifford was in here for a while. I think he's still there. Let's see. I am viewing as Technorama. Scott Tyler. Well, do you see anybody else?
You know what? This thing does not. I don't like the way this thing is set up for
I don't
when.
either.
Yeah.
I don't either.
Screw you, Facebook.
Oh, that was interesting. I switched to my profile and just a few of them disappeared.
Wait, is Scott actually on the plane? He's not watching it. Oh, that was earlier.
I think he was about to get on a plane and he got an alert that said, Technorama is now live.
Look, my
look at
go-go
that.
internet
I gotta turn my go to airplane
Whoa,
mode.
whoa. I need to, this is an important thing I have to do.
Yeah. Can I reschedule my plane, sir?
Sir, you're going to have to turn off your phone. Oh, no, I'm not.
We have a bomb
no,
threat.
you're not
We have a
flying.
bomb threat.
Ooh, yeah.
Man goes to jail for Technorama. How about that?
Boy, you can't buy better PR.
No, right.
Come on, Scott. Take one for the team.
Any publicity's good publicity. As long as I don't end up in jail. All right, we have Remember When? Yes! And Craig, what's this note about Aladdin's Castle?
I love that.
Okay, I
arcade.
just wanted to bring this up. On Facebook, I belong to this. It's a group where they talk about remembering things in my hometown of Rock Hill, South Carolina.
Okay.
And somebody had posted 3 pictures, and I'll link them in the show notes. But there's 3 pictures from inside Aladdin's Castle, which was the arcade that I used to go to in the mall. I think Aladdin's Castle was around in lots of places.
Lots of places. We had them here. We had them in Montana as well.
Well, okay, and I didn't realize that at the time. I just knew that we had Aladdin's Castle at the mall. Anyway, there you can see the picture in there. There's a couple of kids actually I
There's
recognize.
no link.
No, I just told you I'm gonna post them after the fact.
We have to imagine. Use your imagination. Chuck, put
use
your
your
thought
imagination.
box on. We'll both put our thought box on and
But I just wanted to bring it up because I did not realize like I said at the time that Aladdin's Castle was other places. But anyway, there's a picture of a kid playing pole position and Gorf, and then there's not sure if that
Gorf.
Joust. There's Joust.
Bite the dust, Space Cadet.
Yeah. Anyway, just some other stuff.
Goddad.
One of the games I used to love playing in there, it was another Laserdisc game like Dragon's Lair, but it was from an animated cartoon. And I always thought, okay, the cartoon was part of the video game, but no, actually it was a real video game, real movie, and they repurposed it into a thing where you had to make the decisions to go, to make the guy jump around. And it was called the Castle. I'm gonna mess it up here. The Castle of Cagliostro, and I was like, okay, that's a real movie. Turns out it's on Netflix.
Yeah,
so you can go
is.
watch it.
Yeah.
Have you seen it before?
It's actually my queue because of that.
It is.
Very reason, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that was the basis of that laser game, and I obviously didn't know because it was like called Cliffhanger, is the video game cabinet and everything. So anyway.
Very, very interesting. Yeah, Aladdin's Castle. We had one too, definitely. I remember.
Did you ever go to One Shot?
I'm sorry, I never heard of him before this.
Yeah, ours was at. I think the Aladdin's Castle was at Los Arcos Mall when it was here, before they tore it down way back in the day.
Well, it actually moved to the newer mall we have in town, and it stayed there for a while and kind of fizzled.
Yeah, like all arcades kind of did. Yeah, for the most part.
Man, we poured a lot of money into those.
Oh man, much.
It's amazing to think that they could even fail with as much revenue as they went in.
Well, it was interesting because there was a place called Video Roundup here in town it was on New Year's Eve. You could go there and they had free play.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And recently?
No, it was many years ago.
Way back
in the day. And eventually they got the bright idea. It's like, oh yeah, you have somebody pay you $10 and you basically get free play all night. It's like, oh, that's even smarter way to do it. But Rick and his wife ran it. This gentleman Rick I know, and so he always gave back to the community that way. He had free play night. So plus kept kids off the street, so to speak. So
hey, I one of my comment on Aladdin's Castle was, I love that place. I used to live there. And then the next comment I put, if I had a dime for every quarter I spent,
yeah, we'd have less money. So
I'd be rich.
All right, we have another story from the way back. Brian, would you care to take us down memory lane?
There are objects in our lives that will forever be tied to our childhood. A favorite toy, for example, or the first chapter of a book that you read and truly connected with. For most of us, these are items that are forever lost. Long ago, consigned to the dustbin of goodwill. But not so for Professor John Platt, who, February 16th, shared with the world a discovery that blasted him straight to his personal past. A working 30-year-old Apple IIe computer.
No, the IIe's a little older than 30 years, so this one was sitting around for a while. Because if it was in 88 or 89, it was already a few years old.
It's true. Oh my God, he tweeted. An Apple IIe sat in my parents' attic for years, decades, and it works.
In his attic. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Look yonder.
Yeah, I know. I see it there. And so
there's a IIe in the studio, and it works.
But it wasn't sitting in an attic. That's what I'm amazed.
So even better.
Yeah. Sight of the Computer, first released in 1983. So yeah, definitely a long time ago. Serves up an immediate nostalgia gut punch to those old enough to remember the green text motif that defined the era. Now, see, we had one that was plugged to a TV.
The with the color?
Yeah.
And the colors would bleed, and that's how you got like colors of purple, because the palette didn't have that. You had to use those. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it looked kind of white, the pixels, but then they kind of had the...
But it had some color at least. That was the thing.
And the green was slow to refresh, so as things would scroll, it would sort of get blurry.
or refresh, and it would be like... It was kind of funny. So... So, yeah, he said it's ready to play again. He put in an old game disc, asks if I want to restore a save game, and finds one. So, must be 30 years old. I'm 10 years old again, he said.
I was a little older than 10.
Yeah.
Here's his text. Oh, my God. An Apple IIe sat in my parents' attic, and it works. Wow.
That's pretty interesting.
I wonder, what did he end up playing? In the ensuing tweet storm, Pfaff documents and replays the games of his youth.
Zork.
Clearly, this man regrets putting away his childish things all those years ago.
No, it's Adventureland.
I'm on the shore of a lake. Visible items.
So it is a Infocom game. It's Adventureland.
Oh, Adventureland. Okay.
Yep, I remember it.
Oh, and he's got another
Oh,
one
it
here,
says
a
it right there.
basketball game.
He's got Ewing versus Dr. J. No, sorry. Larry Bird versus Dr. J.
Wow,
See,
there's a sign of the
what-
time. And
what I'm
ASCII
amazed
art.
at, one, the computer was in the attic. Two, so were the discs, I assume.
Oh, my discs are in the
Right.
closet.
Yeah.
I mean, but to be sitting in an attic somewhere, I mean, I'm thinking, the temperatures go up and
That'd
down.
be a
and
pretty good attic.
Depends where you live.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily say. 1984 computer humor. As always, I'll be assisted by the lovely and talented Donna Disk Drive. Say hello to our contestants, Donna. Thank you, Donna.
That's what it would do, yeah.
Faust's discovery and subsequent Twitter thread inspired others to chime in about computers of days past, and what followed was a
there it is,
feel-good
right
walk
there.
down memory lane. Oh, wow.
And they're right there in the corner.
Hey, and there's a picture
Sad.
of Craig and his brother
Yeah. Yeah.
with their
So I
shirts
had
off.
Hey, baby. So I had a math teacher that was encouraging me to program. Like I would finish whatever work we were doing. She would let me go around the partition and work on the computer while everybody else was still doing their stuff. I wasn't a math genius, but she sure did treat me like one, and I appreciated it.
I stayed after school. When everybody else left, I would forego riding the bus the 2 miles home, and I would stay for a couple extra hours and then I'd go
Play games.
I didn't play games. I would take
do the basic book. And
do
just
the basic book, modify the programs. Like, ooh, I made a sound. Now let's see if we can
Making
tweak the
games.
sound. And it got to be like 5:30. I went, oh, now I got to walk home in the dark, in the snow, 2 miles. This is not going to be fun.
Your parents are going 1, 2, 3. We're missing a kid.
Nah, we got a few extras.
That's okay.
There's 8 more.
There would be fun.
Yeah, we got enough to trim the herd a little bit.
But yeah, I mean, I'm the same with you, Chuck. I was the same way, but I was playing games usually. So I was playing like
Games were a luxury. That came along later in college when we started swapping discs.
No, so we had games in our computer lab. It was what? So I was in seventh grade.
There were a few games while we were in high school because I started a computer club and we did a car wash and we got enough money to buy a game and then we shared that. And I don't know where we got the original Castle Wolfenstein from, but that game got worn out. I think we played Falcons to death. There were still
I think
a lot
the first
of them.
games I played were like EVGA Trek and Lemonade Stand.
Lemonade Stand.
We used to play that.
Oregon Trail. Woo!
Yeah, well, we didn't have Oregon Trail.
We did have some of those that were from an organization called MECC, the Minnesota Education Computing Consortium. And they had several games on several discs, and I don't remember where those originate. Obviously, they came from Minnesota, but we didn't have the original discs. And then certain games were copy protected, and you had to use programs like Copy 2 Plus to break them.
I remember we got a pet too. We got
That's another podcast.
A pet computer as well that was next to the Apples, and you play games on that as well. But it was interesting because they had a game called Toker. I didn't know what it was per se, but really what you were trying to do is
I'm a midnight toker.
Yeah, well, of course, you're in seventh grade. I didn't really know yet. I
Some kind of version of poker.
No, and so it's funny. You had so much breath that you had, and you had to go down the bong essentially and clear it out before your breath ran out. And of course, I didn't realize what it was, and you'd run into things as you're going like seeds.
Education at its finest.
I know, and I'm just like, wow, didn't really understand it till much later. So
what was that doing in school?
I don't know. That's the whole thing. Somebody probably just was like, hey, I got a bunch of pet games. Here we go.
Speaking of pets, we have patrons to thank. That didn't sound good at all.
That we're their pets.
That's right. Thank you very much, because this show is largely brought to you by you. Thank you to our patrons who enable us to keep this show running and bring you the special episodes by being a Patreon. Going to patreon.com/Technorama podcast. For as little as $1 a show, they get extra content that is not available to the general public. And we send out a bunch of postcards when we were on the cruise. So lots of little perks that we like. So thank you to Kyle Nishioka, Avner Braverman, Ben Vaughn, Mike Wills, Mega Podtastic, Night Gig Studios, Gary Lindros, John Clifford, Leon, John Noble.
That John Noble.
Our John Noble.
Oh, our John Noble, yes.
Chris MC, Alexis Duran, Saturday Morning Media, Steve Therian, Yorga Shrowen, not Yorga Washington. John Miller Jr. I think everybody's going to have like a moniker at some point.
Washington's his middle name.
Where were we? Amber Elstad, Harold McKinstry, Amy Bowen, and our latest and greatest Patreon member, Denise Inglis. Now, we are at an even 20. We need to disrupt this table a little bit.
Wrong.
Did we get another one?
You're missing one.
Who are we missing?
You are missing Stephen Weshy.
Yay!
Blackjack. We hit 21.
Yeah, blackjack. Hit. Wait.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we didn't get the table updated. Thank you very much, Stephen. Thank you to everybody who contributes to the show. See, the cool thing is, since we only did one show this year, you only paid for one show this year. So,
it's a very clever way to do it. That's for sure.
But watch out, because we're going to do one a day for the next 3 months.
No, we're not. No.
Hi, welcome to Technorama with Craig.
Again.
Every day at 4 a.m.
Yeah. There you go. 'Cause that's what it'd be like.
Ain't happening. All right. We have, what's up next? Media Corner?
Yeah.
Welcome to Blockhead Video.
Hey, where can I find some good information about music and TV and videos and things?
Over here, in the media corner.
Craig, you're a photographer more than I am.
Wow.
Read on.
Yeah, so this guy took I found this on Reddit, and you can see in the comments below how he did it, but he took nearly 50,000 images of the night sky to make up a 81 megapixel image of, I guess, Tuesday's moon, which had been early February. Uncompressed image is in the links. Uncompressed images in the links.
81 megapixels. Now, he's got background stars in here. Somehow he did this without blowing it out.
So if you scroll down,
and he's got the unlit side pretty well lit too.
I'm gonna see if I can. Yeah, I think I can grab a link to the comment where he's describing. I'll put that in the show notes right under the link for this. But he basically used some software that does an image capture, and the camera itself is a special kind of camera that doesn't have a viewfinder, so you have to hook it up to a computer and use the software. So it takes all the pictures, stitches them all together. Does the color correction as if as needed, and so I'm not going to go into all the details because there's a lot of it here. But the software is essentially free. Is what I'm gathering here. It does noise reduction. Let's see, just trying to get all the highlights here.
So it captures audio as well with the noise reduction.
Yeah, noise reduction. He even photographed the dark side of the moon with some noise reduction.
And there's Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
That's really
so
cool.
Anyway, it's essentially a long
really
exposure
sharp
of the moon.
Yeah.
And what's amazing is when you first look at it, it really captured me especially when you look at the large version. It really has a depth to it.
Yeah,
probably more so than any picture of the moon I've seen.
It
has like a little depth to it, like almost not 3D, but has that kind of like you said, like it's got shape.
It looks very surreal because you normally don't see the background stars and the moon at the same time because they don't. There's too much brightness coming off of the moon.
Yeah, so when you click on the picture, you'll get the big picture, and it is quite large, and then and you can check it out. But I'll also put a link, like I say, right below in our show notes to the direct comment where the guy's explaining all the different software.
How large is it?
It's so large, it's full of cheese.
Holy moly!
I did click it and zoomed in.
Yeah, it's that thing's huge.
I can see the lander.
Yep, you can see all sorts of detail.
Wow. The coolest part is when you look right along the Terminator,
right,
where you see the shadows.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That is mighty impressive, that's for sure.
You can even see the details on the unlit portion that are in shadow. That's impressive.
Array computers.
Well, what blows me away was, even before you really look at besides the picture, is it took 50,000 photos
to make that.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
81 megapixels.
Some of the stars look more like smudges, but they are there. When you blow it
That's
up,
because the Earth's shaking.
the Earth is shaking. Don't take pictures in earthquakes, kids.
As we're moving so
You got a little
fast.
atmospheric stuff going on.
Probably the atmospheric heat jiggling stuff. That's the scientific way of saying it.
Heat jiggling. It's the atmospheric jello, essentially, that causes it.
Right.
It's the water vapor in the atmosphere, because when you look through water, it looks all wavy.
That's it, exactly. It's because we're taking the picture underwater. Really.
Shifting gears. Oh, we didn't want that. Hold on. That's the wrong one. We need this one. Geek Library.
I like the music.
I like it too. Dave Dorman, everyone. Dave Dorman. Made only famous on Technorama. All right, somebody went and over at Screen Rant, they published an article about the Futurama characters as categorized by the Myers-Briggs personality type. Now, Myers-Briggs gets a little too many letters for me. There's a 4-character designator. If you're not familiar, this is a way of categorizing personalities by, are they outgoing or are they subdued? Or are they that kind of stuff? So they went through each of these. I'm not going to go through all of them, but we'll start with, for example, Nibbler. Nibbler is an ISFP. Most adorable character on Futurama, and maybe the most adorable character ever created by Matt Groening. Sorry, Maggie. It's actually a highly intelligent, compassionate extraterrestrial. Nibbler is from a race of guardian beings who strive for harmony amongst worlds and thriving civilization. Now, ISFPs are that way, although maybe not on a universal scale. They are extremely empathetic toward others and wish to see their loved ones doing their best. Plus, ISFPs have a strong sense of morality and care for the natural world, which is definitely true for Nibbler, except for that one time he ate an entire zoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he ate all the animals on the planet. Craig, tell us about the robot devil.
Yeah, so he's an INTP. The real devil has nothing on this charming, musically gifted robot devil of the Futurama world. The robot devil, or Beelzebot, is a classic Silver Age supervillain, complete with complex plots and maniacal way of laughing. The laughing part is the only trait of some INTPs, but the ability to come up with a complex plan is something almost all of them share. Because of this, INTPs appreciate their autonomy. They can the need to be able to devise their schemes without deadlines and expectations from authority. Just like the robot devil, you'll find many INTPs in business for themselves. Okay, I was thinking sales. This is if you consider running a robot hill as a business.
Sure, why not?
All right, we're gonna jump down. Brian can talk about Bender.
Bender. He's an ENTP.
Oh, yeah.
ENTPs are opportunists, hustlers, if you will. Usually they're not as selfish as Bender, but jumping on opportunities is a characteristic they both share. Bender is also an idea guy as his fellow ENTPs. His mind is always working in a way to make something come out to his advantage, basically. ENTPs are also social butterflies, comfortable at parties and often energized by exciting groups, activities, and so that sort of thing. They're obviously everyone's favorite robot. That's obviously Bender himself. That's definitely what he is. He's the life of the party, who it seems is always trying to start some sort of group debauchery. That's very true. Remember the blackjack and hookers quote?
Yeah.
Yes. Maybe, hopefully, not every ENTP would say that, but it's an ENTP way to say things.
They're all in here. The professor is an ISTP. If you're not familiar with this, it's very easy to look up Myers-Briggs and find out exactly what these letters mean in each of them. But you kind of get the idea. And once you start zoning in on some of this stuff, you'll relate it to people around you as well. Mm-hmm. Now, the trick is not to, and this is true for any other personality test, is not to recognize the behaviors of those people, but to understand how you can work with them. So if you can tailor your behaviors to be more effective with them, then of course everybody wins. So it's not to say you have to change yourself and become something you're not, but to be able to engage in other. If somebody's being very direct or very blunt, oftentimes being blunt back at them, even if you're not a blunt person, is the best way to get them to react. Because if they see that you're being...
We saw how people dealt with Worf.
It's true.
Smack him in the face with a bat laugh.
Well,
all right,
maybe
so
not.
you should read Fry, Chuck. I'm sorry, Brian, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. I was just going to say I'm an SFTP myself, but that's just me.
SFTP?
Yeah, Secure File Transfer Protocol.
I'm an SSH guy. I'm an SSH guy.
You wanted me to read Fry?
Yeah, do Fry.
Okay,
we'll
he's
leave
an
it at that.
ENFP. Fry is an independent, confident individual who doesn't give a darn what others think. Of course, he should rightfully not be any of those things.
Yeah.
He needs help more than he admits. Thy confidence is unearned, and he really should listen to people more. But that wouldn't stop an ENFP of Fry's intelligence. ENFPs are true free spirits. They go where the wind takes them, and with zest for life and a winning sense of self-assurance. Usually, that self-assurance comes with some sort of talent. But
not Fry.
We have to hand it to Fry for believing in himself when, well, he has no reason to. All bashing aside, Fry tries not to let that self-confidence hurt his loved ones. In true ENFP fashion, Fry is committed to a group that he finds meaning in. That group, of course, are his friends. So it says, who's your favorite Futurama character? Which Myers-Briggs personality type would you give them? Let them know in the comments section below. You can find those over at our website at chuckchat.com/Technorama. There we go. Oh, that was fun. What's our last one? Oh, another video game one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Craig, take us home.
Okay, so you remember the last Starfighter, of course.
Oh, yeah.
At the time, it had the groundbreaking effects, kind of like Tron a little bit. At least the special effects were. But you can play the video game, and it plays just like the movie. So you get sucked in and taken into space, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're at the right age and the right amount of cool, like us.
That's right, yeah.
I threw that part in there.
I think this came along slightly after I was done.
No, this came right at the right time for me. I wanted this damn video game so bad.
Wait, this came right around the time you were done being cool?
I think it was by the time I got into college and I was done with video games.
You were done with video games by then?
Yeah, I started in... That's when I started coding and doing my own thing.
Focused.
Okay. All right, we'll let that slide. So anyway.
Video games was for kids by that point.
Wow.
Such a high school thing.
Hey,
the writing was on the wall. I could see the arcades were closing.
Hey, well, there's some kids making better salary than you and I both. So playing video games. So anyway, the setup for this last Starfighter will trigger a pleasant memory, a hit of nostalgia. A coin-op video game served as a recruitment tool for an interstellar defense force. If you were good enough, I was waiting for a comma there. Now the game from inside the movie is playable right on your PC. So greetings, Starfighter. You've been recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against Zur and the Kodan Armada. Those were the words that greeted by Alex Rogan every time he ponies up to the last Starfighter game. And now they greet you, too, thanks to a band of code junkies called Rogue Synapse, who've made a pitch-perfect playable version of the game from within the movie. So how accurate is it? And there's a video in here, which I'm not seeing it anymore.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of not there. I was looking for it also.
So go to the article. There's a link that says you can download it here, and then you can just go right to it and download it.
PC only. Sorry, Mac users.
Wah, wah, wah.
Darn.
I'm gonna download it.
Me too. I'm gonna totally download it.
Right now while we're streaming.
It's because video games are for kids.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, I had other priorities by the time I got to college.
I understand.
Hey, my wife says I act like a 12-year-old, so I'm right in the demographic here.
And she gives you the salary of a 12-year-old too.
A couple Snickers bars and some Capri Sun.
Look, I got a quarter. I could go play a game.
All right. On that note, we get to our question of the week. What video game had a major impact on your childhood? We'll post this to the social media and get your answers on the next show. Assuming it's next week. I think it's next week.
Tron for me. How about you?
What impact did it have? I mean, was it just a fun game to play, or did it actually have an impact on your life?
Let's think about that.
Yeah. You asked what game had a major impact, and I want to know what the impact was as well.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So
I think about that.
Video games in general had an impact on my life because they were a social conduit. They were a community of interest, and I could hang out with people who were playing the same game, or I could hang out with my friends, and we would go to the arcade as a social venue. So that from that standpoint, I can't think of a particular video game that had a major impact.
It had an impact on Tron. Had an impact on me because I could have done a lot more if I had not dropped the quarters in and played for hours on end. So I could have just bought the machine.
I'm even going to give exception to this if somebody has one more recent. We are adults now.
Right, yeah.
There may be video games that have a major impact on your life now. Video games today are radically different than the ones we played 30 years ago.
We'll change it up.
Major impact on your life.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. That's a good question. Yeah, that's a really good question.
I mean, there's got to be stories out there of people who, are having ADHD and video games change the way they interact. Or
I would not necessarily video game, but Infocom games, because I really got into
the storytelling aspect of it.
Yeah, storytelling. That really got me into it. Actually, I tried to write my own adventure game, which we talked about here with my friend Craig Watson. Tried to make our own English parser, and it was actually an Infocom text adventure game based on Back to the Future. so there were some real time elements to it we were trying to add in to the prose. Just programming really got me more hooked into programming. Did some stuff I hadn't thought I would be able to do.
Yeah, that's a really good question because, emotional impact as well as, maybe you're having a hard time in your life, something like that, or the time in your life when you're playing that game, it means something.
Sure.
So, yeah, that's a really good question.
I'm going to have to think on that one.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to really have to give some thought.
All righty. That's our show. We appreciate you spending time and hanging out with us. Make sure you go over to our website at chuckchat.com/Technorama. You can reach us on the listener line 707-530-2428. We haven't heard voicemail in a really long time. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much.
I guess it still works, right?
Yeah, I hope so. We better test it out. And they might take it away if we don't use it often enough. Thanks for hanging out with us, Brian.
Thank you for having me, as always.
Thanks for all the help and work, Craig. Sorting things out, setting things. Thank you, Craig.
Oh, thank you, sir.
What?
You're right.
Don't forget about the Patreon thing over at patreon.com/Technorama podcast. We'd love to hear from you. And until next time, tell a friend about Technorama and give us that traditional binary high five. You remember how to do this, Craig?
Yeah, 010.
No,
other way.
0101. I got it.
Invert those bits. Done. All right. That was fun. A little rough around the edges.
That's okay. It's been a while.
Yeah. When isn't this show a little rough around the edges?
Yeah, that's half the appeal, right?
See what I missed.
What you missed?
That.
Oh, it's the Death Star coming to get us.
This last Starfighter is pretty cool. It's booting up like a video game, a cabinet, like a arcade game.
Like a MAME?
It says Starfighter, initial tests indicate unit okay.
Did we miss a story or did Craig take a couple out?
Well, he did edit it.
He did edit it. Yeah, that one was taken out. That was about the woman asking for help or something.
I'm sorry.
No, that was the lady who wanted. She was going to pay somebody to make her decisions for a year.
Yeah. Sorry, I changed it up a little bit. I tried to give you a heads up, but you weren't responding to my text.
It's because all the story. I already went in at like 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon and got all the pictures and lined them up.
Okay. I know I shouldn't change it that late, but
yeah,
I thought y'all would enjoy the Apple too. So.
Yeah, imagine someone having an Apple IIe after 30 years.
No, you missed the point about it being in his attic.
I'm not going to stick mine in the attic. I know how to get better care of it.
I don't think he expected to find it. That was the whole point,
Yeah.
His parents were like,
actually,
hey, get your stuff out of our attic.
As most parents do.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to.
8 years old.
Yeah. I hope it wasn't in an attic like in Phoenix. I imagine it gets pretty toasty in the attics in Phoenix.
It gets pretty toasty in the attics in the Phoenix this time of year.
Yeah.
The summer is unbearable.
There are a lot of houses that don't have attics, so.
Mine actually is not so bad. I mean, it gets cold because, and it gets hot, but Christmas time I was up in there, no problem. But yeah, it does get warm up there.
All righty. Let's say goodbye to our viewers. Thank you very much for joining us. See you next week.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah,
and,
next week.
Unless you're a Patreon, you get to listen to us again tomorrow.
We're going to record our Patreon show right now.
We're going on a
That's
cruise. Right. That's it.
Yeah.
The Technorama cruise.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks.
There you go. Bye.